me now is John Proust. He's the chairman and CEO at Japan Gold. Great to see you again.
Mark, I'm very happy to be with you.
Now, we see you around, but we haven't talked to you for maybe a couple of years, and so much has happened with Japan Gold. So let's get up to speed on the story. Just to remind people, you're a project generator in Japan, first mover advantage there. You've got 26 projects. Barrick is a drilling partner. And you said that the company's at an inflection point right now. So give us a little flavor there, if you could.
Absolutely. We have been very active, as you mentioned, establishing our project portfolio in Japan. We have 26 projects, and we've spent the last number of years, 5 years with Barrick, evaluating our whole project portfolio with geochemistry and geophysics. Now, as soon as I say that, a lot of our audience falls asleep and says, call me a little later when you're drilling.
Right.
Now, Barrick has identified the 3 projects that they feel have the best potential for a Tier 1 or Tier 2 ore body, which is a 5 million ounce or a 3 million ounce ore body. And they've moved into the drilling phase now. And so over the last several months, we've completed scout drilling programs at each of the 3 projects. We've reported on 2 of them with some good results. And we are getting ready to report on the 3rd project and its results. So that's a really important piece for our audience, that they see, okay, the drills are now starting to demonstrate the value. So that's one piece. The second piece is that we have built our team and organized our team to be very focused on the portfolio outside the Barrick Alliance. So with those 23 projects, you have to be very disciplined. You have to have priorities, and you have to have a pipeline of projects that you're going to be advancing. So to do that, we've brought on a new VP of Exploration, Jason Leto. Jason came to us from Vale, 21 years at Vale, where he was active in base metals and precious metals around the world, including places like China. Ended up leading the Voisey's Bay exploration group. And Jason's expertise is near mine, district scale, new discoveries. And he did that 6 times, either expanding resources or making new discoveries with Vale.
All right.
So he's ideal. Just adding to that, we have 2 of our senior team that are advising him. One is Fraser McCorkadale, who was previously the head of global exploration for Newcrest, very experienced and knowledgeable in Japan, and very knowledgeable globally about the style of mineralization that we have in Japan. So he's there providing senior technical advice. And then we have Takashi Kuriyama, my mentor in Japan, who was previously the head of global exploration for Sumitomo Metal Mining. And prior to that, he was the general manager and chief geologist at Japan's only operating gold mine, the giant Hishikari 14 million ounce ore body that's producing gold at 30 to 40 grams per ton. So I think we're really at an inflection point where Jason is now moving forward. And we just announced 2 days ago our first drilling program outside the Barrick Alliance under Jason's leadership.
That's great. No, it sounds like a lot of good people in place, so that's great to hear. So for investors, what are some of the catalysts that we can look forward to the rest of this year into 26? What kind of news flow?
Yeah, great. Interesting, one catalyst that investors always, I think, is in the back of their mind is costs. And over the last year, with discipline, with looking at the full team that we had, we've scaled ourselves appropriately for the activities that we've got underway, and look more at ourselves being a special forces team as opposed to an army. We've reduced costs by 40%, and I don't know any other companies out there that have reduced their costs by 40%, but have increased our efficiency through that period of time as well. So catalyst, very clear. Barrick drilling results should be out very shortly. The first project that we're drilling outside the Barrick Alliance, the Mazobe project, first drilling results in November, and then we expect a second set of drilling results in January. And the reason that we're here at this conference, at the Precious Metals Summit at Beaver Creek, is that we've done enough work to demonstrate that we have at least 2 or 3 district scale opportunities in Japan that are outside the Barrick Alliance. And we're meeting with some of the big mining companies that are looking to expand their portfolio, that are making enormous amounts of cash, but recognize that they want to be in a safe political jurisdiction that has a rich history of high-grade gold mining and a wonderful unexplored environment for them to become involved in. So our project generator model is really starting to bear fruit, and I'm looking forward to hopefully some further announcements on something like that.
So possibly some joint ventures?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, very good. Now, speaking of relationships, so you struck one with Osisko Royalties for $5 million. And you say that's kind of unique. It's significant and unique at the same time. How come?
Yeah, it's significant and unique. I've known the Osisko Group for many, many years. I was really at the early stage of Osisko mining, and I guess I could be called one of the co-founders, having put that whole enterprise together on Windfall Lake.
Okay.
So that's interesting. When I looked at sources of financing and non-dilutive financing, to me, a royalty sale made a lot of sense. And that's because in Japan, there's almost no burden on a project when you go into production. You pay a 1% royalty to the government. So you've got room to sell a royalty. But the trick is that when you go to a royalty company, whether it's Franco-Nevada, Wheaton Precious Metals, or Osisko, you have to have reserves and resources. You need to be more advanced, and we're not there yet. But our thesis was so strong and so compelling in terms of our dominant position in Japan, the partners and the de-risking that we've done with our share ownership structure, with the 63% being held by big institutions, that they felt that it was worthwhile doing that. So we sold a small royalty, a 1.5% royalty to Osisko on the portfolio outside the Barrick Alliance. We're delighted to use those dollars to advance that portfolio, and we look forward to further contributions from Osisko as we start to mature those projects.
You mentioned that 63% of the shares are held by institutions. So what kind of message do you think that sends to the market about the prospects that the company has?
Yeah. Really, the message it sends should be twofold. One is that institutions have a choice of wherever they're going to invest their dollars, and junior companies don't generally have a large cadre of institutions on their roster. We spent an inordinate amount of time talking to the institutions about our thesis in Japan and where we're going, and the fact that in the future we expect mines to be developed and us to require that capital. And so they lined up and provided what they would call toehold positions in Japan Gold and providing equity to us, with the understanding that when we need to come up with our 25% of a mine build with Barrick, as an example, that we would make a handful of phone calls and the capital that we would require would be there. So the message really is, to investors, that we're well prepared. We've built a foundation that's good for the future in terms of our capital, where we can't get bullied by a major or something like that. That's number one. Number two is that all these institutions, and they include BlackRock and Rothschilds and RCF, so Resource Capital Funds from Denver, Equinox Partners owns 30% of our company now, that they've done their own due diligence and they've decided to put their significant dollars into Japan Gold. And I think that de-risks the investment for investors. And along with that, plus the Osisko royalty sale, very unique, but that de-risks it further as well for their due diligence. And the fact that Newmont also owns 8% of our shares as well, and provide input to us as required. So it's a lot of de-risking that's been going on there.
Yeah, so you've de-risked, you've advanced everything to this stage, there's opportunity. So ultimately, what's the message to investors right now?
Look, I think now, we've been in Japan, so just to be clear, the Mining Act changed in 2012, and that's when we went in as the first mover into Japan. We've been there for 13 years now. We've done an enormous amount of work to understand the country, to build up this incredible position that's never been done in Japan's history before, to build the relationships with the government, to streamline the permitting, to help design the permitting process, and then to streamline and shorten the permitting process, to align stakeholders in Japan with where we're going and how we're creating this resurgence of the industry. I think that's an awful lot of work that's being done already. So an investor comes in knowing that we've done that work and we've brought all those investors and other interested partners to Japan Gold, and that now might be the time to get involved with us with a $30 million market cap, recognizing that any one of the drill holes that we might make, whether it's with Barrick or under our own projects, could completely generate a re-rating of our company shares and value.
Right.
So now's the time.
All right, very exciting.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, John.
Nice to see you.
Good stuff. Good to see you. John Proust, Chairman and CEO at Japan Gold.